It basically started with, I was in the gym one day, talked to this guy in the gym. He told me, wait, I know a person that needs this. He said, are you willing to come this afternoon to come talk to him? This afternoon. And the first PowerPoint I ever pitched with was the most amateur thing ever. Email marketing is your highest return investment marketing. It's got over 3,600% return investment on average. If you've got the core competencies of your job, then you can understand the outputs that AI gives you, and you can prompt AI in a way that people who don't know the field can.
Hey guys, tuning in today. Reinold here with our On the Couch episode, and I'm here today with Jürgen. I'll leave him to do his introduction. Jürgen, welcome.
Hi, Reinold. Thanks for having me. Hi, I'm Jürgen Teichert. I'm the founder of Wolfpack Digital Marketing, and I am a paid media specialist, CRM specialist, and anything to do with digital marketing. I'm an educator, and I just love speaking about the topic in general.
Nice. So yeah, he's joining me today, and we're going to just have some insights, some questions, and hopefully we can dive into some in-depth conversations as we would like to educate you a bit to the realms of digital marketing, because that is huge. So welcome.
Thanks, Reinold. It's great to be here.
Yeah, man. Awesome. So yeah, I think we can dive right in. I think ideally, even from my side, we've worked together for quite some time, but where did this all begin for you? Where did it start, the interest? The floor is yours, good sir.
Well, it started way back in university days. I did a normal business degree, and I was really into the whole thought of entrepreneurship. So at that time, you could choose your majors, and I chose entrepreneurship and then marketing as a major. And I didn't really know at that time if I would do anything marketing related. I just know I really wanted to be in business. And yeah, the one time I was in a marketing lecture, and they brought in this special guest speaker, someone from Saatchi and Abel. It's a really big agency in South Africa. They deal with those big Nando's campaigns and Switch and all that stuff. And he basically played a few of these clips of these awesome advertising campaigns, and then my eyes just lit up, and I thought damn, that's what I want to do.
You were like, I want to do this.
That's what I want to do. So then it just started. I went into marketing, started as a marketing manager at an IT company, did a little bit of sales, and then I started a job at a digital marketing agency where I learned a lot and a lot and a lot. But the digital agency was very premium, so it was the upper echelon of clients, so the large corporates. And it basically started with, I was in the gym one day, and a person approached me. We became friends, and then he told me, listen, but you talk a lot about the marketing thing and the digital marketing thing. I can see you're passionate about it, especially around ads. So for me, when I started with the whole talking about ads and talk to this guy in the gym, he told me, wait, I know a person that needs this. And he said, are you willing to come this afternoon to come talk to him? This afternoon. And I was dumbstruck. I was, okay, now I need to set up a presentation.
You have the knowledge, you're kind of confident, but now it requires implementation. You're like, am I going to really do this thing?
Yeah, so then I needed to figure out some pricing. I needed to figure out, put things on a PowerPoint. And the first PowerPoint I ever pitched with was the most amateur thing ever.
If you look back at it now.
Yeah, if I look back at it now. And I ended up scoring that client. It became this client that I was doing on the side. Eventually I realized, no, but I would just love to create my own brand. And there was this gap where I felt there's not many paid media specialists in Namibia, and that's where the return on investment lies with marketing. You've got your marketing, you've got your branding, and then you've got your advertising. And advertising is that space that really churns the return on investment faster than the other two.
Yeah. I hear you. Okay, great. So first of all, it's great that you mentioned that. I think a lot of people always feel like no one really grows up and says, I want to become a marketing specialist. And there's two ways to it. For me, because it's such a moving industry and growing and adaptable and creative, I don't think you can really say that you just walk into it and you knew everything. I think you grow with the process, which is, in my personal opinion, when I started in this, I have simply just learned every single day. There's always something new that gets added on, right? And then you have like this plethora of information. But what I like what you're mentioning now is you said, let's take one element and focus on it, which is paid marketing or ads specifically. So did you at some point find yourself saying like, cool, I've got all these tools, but I want to focus on this? And why? Is that because you saw a gap in the Namibian market?
I think it's more of a passion thing. So I don't just specialize in paid media. I also specialize in CRM and email marketing and these sales systems. And the reason for that is I have this almost like a little bit of an obsession with return on investment based marketing.
For all the businessmen out there, they are loving you right now. Return on investment.
Yeah, so return on investment based marketing. And for that, there's certain elements that need to come together. Like email marketing is your highest return on investment marketing or digital marketing currently out there. It's got over 3,600% return on investment on average. So that was one that I felt like, okay, I really need to get into that. And once you get into that, you realize it's email marketing and automation. The emails it's not always just manual sends. There's customer journeys that happen, and the emails trigger based off of actions that people take.
I'm actually learning some things now. I like this, all right?
Yeah, so then in the middle of it all, you've got your CRM system and your website. So with the CRM system, that tracks everything that's happening. It's your clicks, it's your email sends, it's your ad, it's your leads, it's your altogether middle marketing sales system. So yeah, that's where I got into paid media, email marketing, and CRM systems.
CRM system. And I love that you mentioned all these variables. I think if there is a bit of, let's call it a lack of knowledge, is I think people tend to not understand the amount of work needed and the amount of individuals needed. I think we briefly touched on it earlier when we casually had this conversation where as a single entity, you can't do everything nowadays. You can't. I think you mentioned, let's say, for instance, Google Ads specifically. It can't just be a one-man team nowadays.
Yeah.
And we're leaning more into the space, especially the creative space, when it comes to collaboration. And yes, you need all of this because it is a bunch of people coming together to make this thing happen. And I think I often mention it to clients as well when it's never an easy answer. Like, hey, we want to do this. Then I start asking questions and unpacking because you need to look at the overall like digital ecosystem.
Yeah.
And when you look at that and you can kind of bring it all together beautifully, one just complements the other. So amazing. So on the specific, let's call it this realm where you're kind of specializing in the CRM and all of this, how have you found yourself integrating that into the Namibian markets? How does that process look like? How do you identify that client? Just take us through your process a little bit.
Look, the one thing I've experienced in the Namibian market often is that we don't get as far as to implement the full system.
Full system. Okay.
Yeah, so the full ecosystem basically. We always need to get started with the basics.
Okay.
Or there's some basics in place, but then we have to implement a few other basics to make sure that we don't, leak the funnel or drop the ball. Or yeah. So, for example, we often get there where clients don't have websites. And if you don't have a website, then almost all the other marketing efforts, I wouldn't say they fall flat. They're still very strong in their own regards. I mean, with social media, you can market and get a good return on investment from the start without a website. But with a website, you've got the anchor point, the middle point of your digital marketing ecosystem, where everything can then go back to your website. So your social ads can go back to your website, your Google ads, your Google My Business profile, your CRM system, everything can then integrate into this website which is your digital sales agent. It's your digital sales agent where it tells people what you do, your references, how you do business, and just gives them everything they need to make a decision based off of that.
So very much kind of, it's like you said, the one can happen without the other, but if it's all kind of pieced together wonderfully, it just complements overall and works. Where do you think we find ourselves as Namibian market or Namibian clients in general in comparison to a neighboring country that's a bit ahead like South Africa, or even more so Europe or the States? Where do you think we find ourselves?
Yeah, so like I said in the beginning, we still need to get so many of the basics right, and we need to get over this fear of digital, and there's also this lack of education around digital marketing. So I've worked with a few South African, a few companies in America, and the things that I see, I mean, the SA companies, they are spending 500K plus a month just on managing their CRM systems. It's not even, then Facebook's not included, Google's not included, all the other stuff is not even included yet. It's just their CRM systems, because they understand at a level where you have a lot of data, you can start doing so much with that data to increase your sales, to learn more about your customers, to get further and further and further ahead. And they see everything as this ecosystem, where I feel often we have a toolbox. So this traditional toolbox of, let's say we have our website, our social media, and our Google. And now there's a few weird things like email marketing. It's like I get the I get told often with email marketing, I have so many emails. Like,
it almost sounds foreign to the ear here in Namibia still.
Exactly. Like, I have so many emails. Why am I going to read your marketing email? And then you have to go and explain. You say, like, first of all, because you probably signed up for it. All our
unknowingly.
all our marketing lists. You see improvement with email marketing if someone signed up for it. They want the email. You only experienced bad email marketing where you didn't sign up for it, it wasn't personalized, and you had no real interest in it. But if you have interest in what you're receiving, like let's say I'm a big gamer, so I receive a monthly letter with all the promotions from, let's say, a company like Nanodog, where it's all about the latest tech, what's the prices, what's the discounted prices. I found myself buying 3-4 times based off of an email newsletter. Email costs don't scale. It's not like if you send to 1,000 people versus if you send to 30,000 people, the send still costs the same. Yeah, there's licensing fees and there's list carrier costs, but yeah, once you get to those bigger databases where you carefully handle your data and you put people on customer journeys because people also don't just buy based off of one thing. They buy based off of multiple touch points. So that's where these CRM systems come in place. That's where email marketing comes into place, SMS, WhatsApp integrations, chatbot, AI, all these things. And I feel in Namibia, we touch these topics. Like we say, but a CRM would be great. Or if we're a large corporate, our CRM gets pushed from the neighboring countries onto us because we're a franchise and we just have to accept it.
Yeah.
But overall in the market, I feel that we're still busy with our basic setups.
I hear you.
And we need to get educated on the overall digital landscape, what's possible, and broaden our horizons.
Wonderful. I love the keywords you use there. Personalized, because true, if you're receiving things you have no interest in, of course, it's going to be annoying. But if you're seeing things you want to see, then we're talking also about targeted marketing efforts. It's not just random shots in the dark. And there's a few things you also mentioned right in the beginning. I'm backtracking a little bit, where you mentioned like return on investments, because I think a lot of the times people are also selling like vanity metrics. And people also, I think, often perhaps looking at the wrong things, things that don't necessarily matter to what you're hoping to achieve. And that kind of brings me back to this point where you're saying now, before we could even achieve the sale, we need to now educate first. How have you found that in the Namibian market? Because I feel I can't sell something to you if you don't understand it. If you don't understand it, you don't trust it. So the first step is educating you on what I'm selling you. How have you found that from your perspective? Difficult?
Yeah, I definitely think there's a massive element of educating and helping your clients understand what you are proposing. And I also think that currently in the Namibian market, there's a lack of specialist skills sometimes. So often I would take over an account from another agency and I would see that, oh, but Google Analytics wasn't even properly set up. So then you've got the sales agent in the middle, which is your website, but you're not even properly tracking what's happening on that website. So then they go on there on social media and they're like, yeah, we grew by 5,000 likes or we are now this big page and stuff. But or we're driving so much traffic to the website, but then they can't see, okay, but what did that traffic do on the website? Were they submitting lead forms? So I feel like often we in this loop of we're educating our clients, but at the same time we have to really educate ourselves as well to ensure that we are setting up for success, that we are measuring the right elements, because
100%.
yeah.
I like that. That's giving me definitely some things to think about. And it's part of why we also have this. It's not only to potentially market any viewers that are tuned in, but also ourselves. That's why we have these conversations. So I think there's a lot we can take just from the small piece we've kind of discussed today. And I'm definitely going to leave the door open for hopefully on the next episode. I think we could jump in on a few things. I think for today, we can keep it short, sweet. I think there's a lot we put on the table today that's going to allow whoever these consumers are to kind of sit and digest a little bit. So for today, I think nice. Thank you. This was good, fruitful. Even I learned today, so that is pretty sweet. So I appreciate. I think as sort of like closing off on today's session, anything in particular, let's call it a little tip to the public out there you'd like to leave on the table for today that could potentially be something we can tune in and unpack a bit more in the next episode?
The thing that I recently started specializing in was Google.
Okay.
And specifically now Google Ads. And I realized like a lot of people understood how Google works, what it does, and that it's, if you run a search campaign, you're capturing your highest intent traffic. So you're capturing people already with purchase intent and ready to go down the funnel to complete the purchase. But what they don't always understand is the Google system is more than just search. It's connected to the entire Google ecosystem. So like I said, when I took over some Google Ads accounts, I would see, okay, but there's just a Google search campaign running, and Google Analytics was not even properly set up. The ecosystems of today, they all so integrated. Like if you set up a Google account, your Google Analytics plugs into your Google Tag Manager. Your Google Tag Manager plugs into your website. Your Google Ads, the conversion tracking, also plugs into the Tag Manager, which then feeds into both Google Analytics and the website. And
all right.
Yeah, so by the time you've set up a Google Ad account, it's talking to your analytics, it's talking to your ad manager, it's talking to Looker Studio, it's talking to your website, and you can set up all these custom conversions to get the most value out of Google Ads. That's the second thing that I see when I pick up Google ad accounts. There's only, like page view conversions. Like if somebody visited the contact us page, that's a conversion.
So kind of like scraping the surface of what there is, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm listening. And the thing is, this is quite interesting because having, let's say, my day-to-day where I'm working with a lot of website inquiries, right? And people want this website. And I always lean into like, okay, first of all, why do you want this website? What do you hope to achieve? And this is just naturally deterring them from a lot of unnecessary complexities on the site. sometimes keeping it basic, easy to navigate site, where a consumer jumps on, immediately sees, I found what I'm looking for, information is pretty neatly laid out, and they don't get lost on complex websites, right? This plays into the Google Analytics side of things, that I think it also showcases, per se, the amount of time spent on the site. That's valuable information that also gets lost, because often enough, yes, you have 10,000 people on your website. How many stayed and scrolled? How long did they stay for? Where did they fall off the page? And I think a lot of that information is probably also what you utilize and probably throw back at clients.
Yeah, to make informed decisions.
Make informed decisions, right? Interesting is that a few years back, before I had this lovely job I have today, I worked with AI technology when it came to Google Ads. Once again, a bit more surface level, in the sense that you pay for the keyword. Ultimately, you want to have the keyword that if people go onto Google and they are lazy and they go, best restaurants near me, please don't go call your restaurant that, but then you're easily found, right? Now, this AI app worked pretty well. So if you have to take your daily routine of how you go about things and AI on this side, would you consider it to be as effective? It's not as flexible as you, perhaps, or as intuitive as you. So what is your feel there?
Look, I'm a AI marketing educator as well. So I've deep dived into AI and how to use it, because there comes a point where AI is very, very good with data. So it can take many data points and make quite informed decisions a lot faster than what a human can. So I sometimes fear for my job, where I think, paid media specialists will one day be replaced by AI, because it's all just, monitoring algorithms, monitoring profiles, seeing how their buying behavior is, and putting the right ad in front of them at the right time. Now, there is some soft science to it, which humans are going to always be better at, but AI is really getting super good at that. But at this very moment where we're at right now, it feels like we all have a surface level of AI, and then there's that super deep level of AI, which is actually super scary. Yeah, which you think is going to take your job. But with this surface level of AI that we currently have, it cannot do what we can do just yet, effectively as we can do it. Maybe in 2, 3, 4, 5 years' time, it can start doing these things. But if you are AI empowered, it's going to really take you to the next level. So if 100%. You are together with AI, this is where you'll be, this is where future AI will be. Yeah. Because this is the gap that you found.
The intuitive gap, and I like the word you use there, soft science. Very nice. That being said, it's valuable. What you're saying is that instead of seeing it as a threat, see it as a tool that could also increase your productivity.
It's expanding our capabilities.
Yes, and kind of adding value to your already existing skill set. And I think this is also advice I'd like to give to our creatives out there, our individuals out there. Don't be lazy and use it to have it do your job, because then, yes, you will be casually replaced. But rather see it as a tool you can use to already better what you have to your disposal. I think that is important to take from it, from my end at least. So
I would also say that you still have to be good at your job. If you've got the core competencies of your job, then you can understand the outputs that AI gives you, and you can prompt AI in a way that people who don't know the field can. So yeah, I mean, if you ask AI to optimize this Google campaign for you, and it starts telling you about bidding strategies and all this marketing lingo, you won't know what it's telling you. And if you tell it, okay, just implement it, then for all you know, I mean, if I look at Google's AI, it's constantly pushing me to spend more money. So if I just say yes, then later I'm like, oh, 60,000
Nice.
off my account when my
And
budget
one
was
conversion.
5,000.
Yeah.
All because I just kept saying yes,
Exactly.
yes. Go ahead, AI, implement.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
very valuable there. True. You have to apply yourself with the knowledge you also have. And I think that also allows us to differentiate between someone just being able to walk in and claim to be a marketing manager per se, and then thinking they could just AI their way through it. I mean, if you're good with your words, maybe, but ultimately, I think a bit of knowledge also definitely complements what you're doing in that sense.
Yeah, I think we're moving to the specialist economy where, AI is the best generalist. It can really do almost everything at a mediocre level.
Yeah.
So if you really become a specialist in your field and you understand what you're doing, then AI is going to be the ultimate, companion and productivity tool. It also ties back to that conversation we had about how agencies need to start investing in collaboration rather than, competition.
Yes.
Because if you've got an agency that's super strong in ads and then another agency that's super strong in creative, instead of the creative agency trying to, ChatGPT their way into some ads, the end product that the client gets is great on the one side and mediocre on the other side. Where today we've got the capabilities for collaboration at easier methods and also cheaper methods.
Yes.
So now at the end of the day, through collaboration, the one who's winning is the client because he's getting this specialized, or they are getting this specialized service all around.
All around, and which is, in my opinion, the best return on investment for an agency, because part of the work you put out there is the work you want to put on your portfolio. And if that's looking good, well, then, everyone wins.
And if you're good at something,
yeah,
then you know how to do it so much faster and effectively.
Yeah.
And it's the thing that drives your return on investment as an agency.
100%.
I mean, if I try to start designing and I pull out, my Canva, or I pull out
I have no interest.
all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's gonna take me 5-10 hours to do that thing that someone could have done in an hour or 30 minutes. And
actually, yeah,
if I spend that same time on doing what I'm good at, the opportunity cost recouped would basically give me all the return on investment. So
100%.
it's better for people in general to start specializing and then relying more on that collaboration of other specialists.
100%. Jürgen, thank you. Jürgen from Wolfpack, by the way. Feel free to go check in on any social media pages, give that like, give that follow, please subscribe, and drop a few things in the comments, questions. Hey, Reinold, let's have Jürgen again. Let's talk about this. We'd be happy to sit down and have the chat. And awesome. Thank you once again. And yeah, see you until next time.